we actually shot another movie quickly, so because we thought that we'd never get a chance to make another movie.
While we were shooting, it was like, okay, all right, it was called RMF at the time. We gotta do, it's kinds of kindness. Let's do RMF just like really quickly because then when this comes out, we're like, well, we already have one. No, it's fine. Like,
This is Bella. Bella, this is Mr. McCandles.
Hello, Bella.
No! She's an experiment.
Good evening.
Her brain and her body are not quite synchronized. But she's progressing at an accelerated pace.
Tell me, where did she come from?
I shall. For it is a happy tale.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate. It is the goal of all to progress, grow.
A woman plotting her course to freedom. How delightful.
Oh.
Walsh, and I'm so excited to be here tonight to moderate a conversation about this incredible film, my favorite film of 2023. It's a creative team who brought the actors to life, so please welcome the writer Tony McNamara. And the producer and star myself. So excited I get to talk to you all about this amazing film, which I love so much. I wanted to start with you, Yorgos. Obviously, I know that this project sort of started for you in 2009 when you went to Scotland to meet Alistair Gray, the author of the novel Poor Things.
It's 12. We figured it out. It's 2012. Okay. We started out saying like, I don't know, 12.
So when did you first read the novel, and what was it like meeting with him and talking with him about the project?
11, I didn't know. Yeah, it was around 2011.
Someone update the Wikipedia?
Yeah. Well, soon after, like I was totally, taken by it, and I looked it up if it was already made into a film, which I thought it would have been. But I saw that it wasn't, and I sought out to meet him very soon after. And I went to Scotland, met him. He was an incredible artist in general. Like he's also a visual artist, if you're aware, and he does a lot of the illustrations in his books, all of the illustrations in his books, paintings, murals in Scotland, and he basically gave me his blessing to adapt his novel, and it just took a few years after that to get me.
You had to meet these two.
Yes,
Collaborators.
that's what I was waiting for.
So Tony and Emma, what was your reaction when Yorgos brought this project idea to you, and were you immediately like, yes, I can see it, let's do it?
I can see it.
I can see it. We were in the middle of writing The Favourite, and heading towards production, I think, and Yorgos gave me the book at lunch, and I'd never adapted the book, and then I read it, and I thought, it shouldn't be this book. It's too difficult. But it was such a great, wild idea, and we had a good time working on The Favourite, or at least we had a lot of lunch. And so, it was just seemed like a unique movie and a unique opportunity to kind of challenge me as a screenwriter and kind of work with Yorgos again. And that's how it started for me.
And Emma, you must have thought this is a unique challenge as well to tackle.
A unique challenge for me as a screenwriter and a chance to work with Yorgos again. I was like, yes, absolutely. Yorgos spoke to me for quite a while after he spoke to Tony about it. It was after we had shot The Favourite, and then. Yeah, I mean, from the moment he was describing it to me, because I hadn't read the novel, I didn't know what it was about, and so just the description alone, I was pretty in love with the whole idea, and with Bella, and what she's experiencing of the world and of life, and guys, this is kind of emotional, because I realized earlier that this is our last Q&A. For more things, and we've done a lot. We've done a lot of like Q&As for Poor Things and conversations, but this is our last one. So this is a lovely night. Thank you for hanging out. We're the best crowd. Until years from now, in a retrospective. Right. But it won't be like this. You know? So I fell in love with the story, and then read the script. The script you weren't done with the script yet when he told me about it, and so because it took Tony just forever to craft. Does he have it? No? Okay. And you're a producer now, and you're like, let's get it going. And then I read it, and it was just absolutely perfect. It was exactly what you saw.
Tony, I know that, I think, I have not read the book, but I think that the film, Bella's perspective is expanded a bit more. What was the challenge sort of adapting, or what did you want to expand and contract and bringing the book to the screen?
Yeah, the book tells Bella's story. All the men tell Bella's story through letters and various ways. Bella, you don't really get her point of view or perspective of her experience, and you're not really following within her. And Yorgos' idea from the start, and when I read it, it was like, that was what was exciting to Yorgos, that character, and when I read it, I was like, that is the great character and the great story. And so the challenge and the fun was like inventing that, her experience and how she would be in the world and how she would adventure through the world and meet these experiences, and then working out how to make that journey of that through the journey kind of idea, and how her language would evolve. And so it was a bunch of different things to kind of work on to make how she got through it. But once we had the character of just her without the fingerprints of society, no shame that she's just throwing herself at the world, it kind of helped kind of structure the whole thing.
I love the whole language of the script, as you were talking about, and the way it evolves. If all three of you could maybe comment a little bit about, like, Tony writing the language. All of the characters have a wonderful, beautiful approach to how they speak, and I love that Bella develops and evolves along with it. But how do you sort of write this and then also make it accessible for actors and for audiences?
Well, dialogue-wise, it was because Yorgos talks about it as a fantasy, and it was period, but it was also like important. We would go on a journey, and it would feel contemporary, and so I was kind of finding that in the language, like combining period with contemporary. And Bella's language was very specific because it had to evolve throughout the movie, and so that was kind of the thing we probably honed over and over as we went, even to rehearsal with Emma and Yorgos, where we would change tiny words because that was too sophisticated or that was too at this point. And it also had to be funny. So there was kind of a bunch of things, but that was kind of the idea of how to build the language, because it had to fit this big world that Yorgos was creating and give a real grounding for the actors so they could kind of take it into the amazing place that it is.
Do you guys have any of your favorite Bella phrases? Like furious jumping?
For example.
That's amazing. It's a bad day for Bella Baxter. It's so useful. Use it. Everyone use it. Bad day for you, it's a bad day for Bella. But I mean, so much of her phrasing was so much fun. I'm so boring. I love Bella, top to bottom. Everything about her, the whole script, the whole movie. Genuinely, that's how I feel. What's yours? What's your favorite?
Well, you know what my favorite is.
Well, we want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Say it.
Can I have a moment of value time, dear God?
May.
May I have a moment of value time, dear God?
Tony, do you have a favorite?
Gosh.
They're all your children.
I like the line about the softitude of the
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That's very
They're
good.
not equal.
Equal.
They are not equal in softitude. And indeed, they were not.
I love your physical performance, Emma, as Bella, because it feels so. I felt like I was watching a modern dance or performance art. What were you researching, preparing for the physicality of her and her evolution?
Nothing at all. But really nothing. We were just kind of messing around. In rehearsal, he and I would just sort of, practice like a walk or an idea and shape it out. It was not based on anything that I can remember. Was it based on anything that you could remember? Again, not an interesting answer. Love the script, love the film, love the characters. Made up the walk. I don't know,
True Marina Abramovich stuff going on there.
Not going to that. I mean, that bravery that she exercises is a different kind of bravery.
It's no fearlessness, though. You're saying.
So I was just thinking because she was like, if you want to come in here, come with a knife. I was like very safe on film set. It's 70 degrees, they give you a parka. Anyway.
Yorgos, obviously this film is so beautifully designed. The film just won design prize for production design, and such a fully realized world from the production design, the costume design, and then the cinematography, which evolves as Bella does with different film stocks. At what point, were you thinking about, was it back in 2011, you were thinking about what this movie would look like, or how you were going to bring this visually together? Because we talked about a little bit the evolution of Bella through words and through the physicality, but then also the look of the film, how it's captured.
Yeah, I mean, from the moment I started thinking about it as a film, I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, but I knew that we would have to build the world, build a world that feels unique to her and to her journey and her experience and how she sees the world and how she perceives it, and kind of design something that would feel, familiar, rooted to the period, but also take all these liberties in the design that, work towards that direction, making it her point of view, basically, the film, since we are following her story. But after that, it was a very long process, finding the right people, the designers, Shona Heath and James Price, who worked together, and they worked together for the first time. Shona had never done a film before as a production designer, And it was a long process of looking at things and discussing things and references and looking at from sketches to 3D models to it went all the way up to when we started filming, and the references were like so diverse, and like we had this thick book of the Bible of references that were from period references, photographs, paintings, contemporary photography, medical stuff. Like it was all over the place. So yeah, through that we just try to be imaginative in a way and be free and not be tied to what the period was. Yeah, that's how it evolved.
And can you talk a little bit about the evolving film stocks? I know Rob Bryan used different film stocks are each sort of
also a DP, so you weren't that.
Yeah. One of them's gotta be right.
The film stock. Yeah, so we did a lot of testing as well, like as we did with production design. We didn't have as much time because I guess testing film stocks and on set is quite more expensive than sitting in an office and like doing little drawings. Yeah, so I think my idea in the beginning was that only some of the flashbacks would be black and white, and then I learned that Kodak released again this reversal stock, Ektachrome that they hadn't for a while, only on 16mm, and I don't know how boring that is for most people.
Everyone in this room actually wants to hear about it. Get deep on the Ektachrome.
Alright, let's geek out. Right. So Kodak released this beautiful reversal stock, Ektachrome.
And it could only be done in Germany?
Yeah, they released it in 16mm, so they had to make it for us, and they were also making it at the same time. We were lucky because this show Euphoria was also wanting to shoot some Ektachrome, so they made it for them and us in 35mm, so we had the chance to shoot an Ektachrome on 35mm, and we could only process it in this one little lab in Germany, which did a great job, by the way, but there was no professional lab that actually could process Ektachrome. So we weren't sure if it was going to be reliable when we started testing. Like people were scared, like, oh, are we going to be sending the film to this small lab in Germany? But the tests came back and it looked gorgeous, and we just couldn't. We started planning shooting more of it. And then I looked at the black and white tests, and they looked great. And I said, like, why don't we just do the first, 30 minutes of the film until she starts her journey in black and white? It looks so great, and then we get to see London only in black and white. But when she returns, it is a different person. You see it in color too, so you see her house in color, so that kind of gives a different dimension. So yeah, I mean that it was. Actually, I kind of mentioned that with the production designers and costume designer like a week before we started filming. I said, you know what, the 31st minute is going to be black and white, so don't worry too much about the colors. And what do you mean? Like we've been working for 2 years on the colors?
Oh no.
I go, yes, but you're going to see the colors in the end. And in the end credits, which you see every texture of film, everything in color. So yeah, it was a lot of testing and loving the different stocks and seeing how it would make sense to use them. And we also shot like proper negative a lot of it. So Ektachrome tended to be more the exterior, more bright stuff because it needs a lot of light as well. So most of the exterior stuff. Exterior, of course, everything is shot in a studio, but whatever was more open.
Emma, as a producer, did you like get deep on these little decisions? No. Just the character and story.
Yeah, no, I mean, Yorgos is so, he's a photographer, and he's, it's the way he composes everything is fine. He's so detail-oriented and visual, and then obviously with Robbie and Shona and James, our production designers, and Holly is just a brilliant costume designer. I think all of that was, what can you say? It's like, what am I gonna have? That should be more pink. No, that should be bluer. No, they know what they're doing.
Just not hiring the right people.
Yeah, but it was funny when you called and you said it was all going to be like surprise, surprise. But no, I think it was completely the right choice, and I do love that the fully realized Bella returns to that world in color, because it really does speak to, the visuals of the film being through her eyes. So I agree with you. Great job.
Good thing I thought of it like a week
before. I also wanted to ask about the score, which is so unique by Dirk Fenders, and he's never done film score before, right?
No.
So how did you find him? How did you decide this was going to be what the film sounded like?
So I listened to his album, like his first album, which is a pop album, but it's like so unique, and I just found so many things in it that I kind of related to, like the sounds, the melodies, the humor in it, like how diverse it was, like how many different soundscapes and can exist within one piece of work, and in the end it was just intuitive and instinctive, like something in his work and how he approached it made me feel like maybe this was the right person. And then I met him and I realized that he has classical training, he plays the violin, piano. I mean, he'd never done music for a film before, but he certainly had the the background and the knowledge and the training. So what we did was, because I've never worked with a composer before, like all of my previous films I used pre-existing music. So how I do it is I research a lot during the editing process, and I try things out and I edit them, and I edit the film with the music. So after that, it's kind of impossible for me to substitute it with different music, because you achieve such a specific tone when you do that, and then it's kind of impossible to recreate it with something different. So what we did I told that to Jerskin, and also because he hadn't done it before, it was kind of a trial period where I said, like, why don't you just start writing music and recording music and see how that goes. So you started doing that, and immediately the first 10 demos he brought me were incredible, and he played all the instruments and even the violins, and everything sounded amazing because he played it on his own and then multiplied it and replayed it many times. So it all sounded amazing, and then we would just start discussing in theory, because he hadn't seen and we hadn't shot anything, so he had only seen the script and that Bible that I told you about, like the references, the design, the production design, and costume design references. So only based on that he was creating music, and then I would give him feedback again on an imaginary need that we would have. Like I would tell him, oh, maybe we should be using more of these kind of sounds, and then the next time he brought stuff, it was more that kind of sound. And then I said, like, maybe we need something more, emotional. We need an emotional piece, and he would write an emotional piece. And then we would need something faster for scenes that go fast, and he would do that. And then by the end of this process, before we started filming, I had this library of incredible music by him that we actually used, most of it we used in the film. And he only had to write like one piece of music, I think, after we finished the editing. So all of it was composed beforehand, And we would edit it, of course, on the film, and it was sometimes roughly cut or whatever, and he would redo it, but it was all music that he had written before. And he actually re-recorded everything. I told him, it sounds amazing, I don't want this to change. And he goes like, don't worry, you're not even gonna know. And he kind of recorded everything exactly the same, only with kind of better quality, that only he understands everything. And I couldn't tell the difference. Great. If I can't tell the difference, then fine, do whatever you want. He's incredible.
And he's doing it again, right?
And we're working together on. We've shot another film with Emma actually. And Margaret Coy. So we've shot another film and we're working on it the same way. He's doing the music on that, and he wrote the music before he saw anything, and it's very different music to this. He's incredibly talented, and he has a new album coming out soon, so check that out. It's so good.
Speaking of some of the supporting actors and stuff, what was it like? You've already done The Favorite, but like bringing Mark Ruffalo, Margaret, these, Rami into the sort of Yorgos Lanthimos world of fantasy.
It was amazing. I mean, on The Favorite, we had a rehearsal process 3 weeks at the very beginning where we all, we did our, I'm sure if you're here tonight at a double feature of Yorgos Lanthimos movies, you probably have already heard this a million times. We do rehearsals at theater games. And we get to know each other very well, we get very comfortable, and it's this incredible sort of bonding experience for the actors at the beginning. And so that had been so amazing on The Favorite, and we had the same thing here. And it was, everybody was just, you really understand very quickly if someone takes themselves too seriously, it's not going to work for these films. So it's kind of easy to know, like, I'm working with them again. Very serious and everything. That's not good. You kind of have to have an innate sense of humor about not just the material but yourself in order to make this work, because it's it's a very freeing experience if you can get there and you can't think too much. And that was everyone here. That was everyone in this cast. I think everybody was just ready to play and have fun and explore things, and we all felt really great with each other. So it was really wonderful.
Well, you three are all sort of godwins to Bella, the creators of her. I wonder if, as we wrap up, just what it's been like for you to bring her out and share her with the world and take her on an adventure. And this is the last Q&A.
Is that the last Q?
Is that the last Q?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's our last day. One more A.
The final A.
Careful. Pressure.
So I messed it up now. I think it's been amazing. I think beyond our wildest expectation of how people would come to the movie.
That's true.
How many people get it, because I think it's bonkers. So I think it was always like, who's going to like it? Because it does. But it's been amazing how people have liked it, and fun for us to travel around together and talk about it.
You go.
You're going to say the last words.
Yeah.
Appropriate. I'll agree to that. What more to say? We thought that we actually shot another movie quickly, because we thought that we would never get a chance to make another movie.
Well, we were shooting, it was like, okay, all right, it was called RMF at the time. We gotta do, it's kinds of kindness. Let's do RMF just like really quickly, because then when this comes out, we're like, well, we already have one. No, it's fine.
So we didn't know, how it was going to go down, so we quickly shot another film. But it seems it's good.
Yeah.
People are crazy.
It has been the greatest experience of my life, creative life, to get to play Bella, to get to make this film. I loved her from the very beginning, and I love Tony, and I love Yorgos, and I'm so deeply grateful that the reaction to it, not everybody loves it, not everybody even likes it, but those who do have been such passionate supporters of it, and for people to understand it and love it and this character in the way that we do has been deeply moving. So it has been just incredible, and I'll never have an experience like this again, and that's okay, because one is enough.